So the reason why we do the Lunch and Learn is so that potential clients and previous existing clients can hear about the immigrant journey and specifically the entrepreneurial journey of these guest speakers that we have. So we have a very inspiring guest today, Brenda Williams. Her company is called NewLife Project, Inc. But Tanisha, our mentorship coordinator, will be formally introducing her and telling you what basically her background is. But before we get started, I just want to generally talk about OneHub for the people that are not familiar with it. I know there is some existing clients in the room right now, but there may be potentially new clients that are interested in OneHub. So as you can see from this slide, in addition to providing entrepreneurial training, we provide a whole lot of other services, such as mentorship, which Tanisha is responsible for. We also provide business coaching, which Samaya, as you can see from the screen, she's our business development advisor, so she provides that type of service. We also provide work shadowing and virtual panels on a regular basis too. And needless to say, we always have to provide some information about funding. So Caius, as you can see on the screen, is the staff responsible for giving information to clients about funding opportunities and options. And the other service that's listed here is the alumni. And so once you're involved in any type of OneHub service, then you can become part of our alumni. But there's also other factors that can make you an alumni anyway. So I think in general, those are the services that we have. And by all means, if after this session you're interested in joining OneHub, let us know, and then we will provide you the contact information. So Tanisha, would you like to formally introduce our new guest speaker today?
Yes, thank you so much, Grace, for the introduction. I love seeing all these faces here today. Thank you everyone for showing up and joining us for this awesome Lunch and Learn. I'd love to introduce you to our esteemed guest, Brenda Williams. Let me just spotlight her for everyone here. Hi. All right, so just give you a little bit about one of the wonderful aspects of our lovely guest. Brenda's the founder and executive director of NewLife Project. And it's a NewLife Project, if you haven't heard of it already, it's a non-for-profit that works towards transforming lives through education and entrepreneurship programs, as well as international relief. So lots of amazing things helping so many people. NewLife Project offers a wide range of culturally informed initiatives that support the economic independence of women and children in both North America and West Africa. So there's a wide range of services I know Brenda is going to talk more about, and they include French language training, sewing classes, entrepreneurship courses, all designed to help enhance financial inclusion. So we're so excited to have her today. She does a lot of work collaborating with different organizations such as United Nations Association of Canada, as well as us at OneHub as a mentor. And she is actually nominated for this year's 30th annual RBC Canadian Women Entrepreneurship Award. So really excited to hear more about that. So the floor is yours, Brenda. Please share more about who you are and your immigration journey.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for Tanisha for the introduction. I'm so happy to be here. Well, I'm a very practical person to start with. I love what I do, and it's been quite a journey. But NewLife is actually originated from Sierra Leone. I'm a Sierra Leonean in West Africa. For some of you, I don't know where Sierra Leone is. It's found in West Africa. And I actually was born and grew up in West Africa in Sierra Leone. and moved out to the age of 22 when the war broke out. So New Life actually was birthed when I was actually at university. And I had this vision to reach out to women who were actually commercial sex workers and talk to them about an alternative lifestyle. So I actually was challenging. I told my two friends and they were like, what? I'm like, let's go and talk to them about that. They can have a better lifestyle. And we did go down there. We spoke to them. And by then, as a Christian, all I had was like, God can change you. And they listened. And 6 of them said, okay, we're changing, but what's next? That's how New Life was birthed, because now we have to look for somebody to help them to get skills. So then I talked to a couple of uncles and they had some scholarships and boom, the project was launched. So, and it has always been wherein we develop it from time to time. So even when I moved to Cote d'Ivoire to continue to work there, I took New Life with me and established it in Cote d'Ivoire. And now I was working with traffic women. And I still work with them up to this day, but just to put everything on my website. So moving from there, went to the States, I took my New Life with me, and it's all about developing the lives of women, empowering women, trying to make their lives better. And then later on, we incorporated youth because we realized that some of them have kids. And we realized we're also connecting with a lot of kids. So we moved from there. When I came to Canada as a permanent resident, that was how I established it in 2014. So the goal is to actually to inspire women. We all of us have some gifts. You might not be a commercial sex worker, but at least you have a gift that is hidden and you need somebody to give you a push. At times people don't need money, it's just a push. And we also educate. So that's when the vocational training comes in. You need to give somebody something to do. You cannot just be giving them fish. So you have to teach them how to fish. And then also moving forward, we also do have French. My background is French and it's international relations and translation. So then I use this also to develop the project. And now we have a lot of things that we are doing. So basically, New Life has been evolving and we are here today.
Wow, that's such an incredible journey. I think a lot of us can relate on, being really inspired by something, really pulled to a passion, and having ideas as to how you can blossom and help people on a wider scale. And that's exactly what you've done. And honestly, you should be very proud of yourself. That's incredible. Working with victims of sex trafficking is not an easy feat. And you didn't let that stop you, and you launched into supporting those women as well as their children. So I would love to start us off with a few questions to really unearth your entrepreneurship journey. Some people in this room might be curious as to what it takes to launch a nonprofit or a social enterprise. And so I think you could be, our resident expert in the room, given the experiences that you've gone through. So I'd love to hear, particularly first off, what do you wish you learned, or what do you wish you knew before becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, when I started New Life, definitely it was like the passion, the passion to, because I think growing up, I've always had, my mom would say, you have too many friends, and all the, how you have this land for. My dad was a businessman, still a businessman, just that now he's retired. So I saw my dad actually do business international and stuff like that. And that was one thing that the seed was sown as in terms of business. And I think all of us are into business. And but the other thing also is that I noticed people listen when I talk, my friends, and I was like the mama trying to advise. So when I established it, it was just a passion of just helping friends, being there for friends. And then in 2001, as I said, when the war broke up, I went to Cote d'Ivoire and I was working in the airline by then. Then the idea of like, just go back and look for some of these ladies that you met some time back in school. So I actually went there, got them together and said, let's start to do this formally now, like an institute. So we created the institute, established it with the government. But at that point, it was non-profit in my mind. Did I even know much about non-profit? No, but I registered it just under the women's social, gender, just like that. And then when I moved to Cote d'Ivoire was when the non-profit idea came. So now by then we were doing so much in the brothel that the government of Cote d'Ivoire recognized what we're doing, and they decided to step in to use organizations as a tool to actually track these traffickers and see how we can, send a lot of them out of their camp. But then they told me, if you're not registered, to be difficult. That's what I research about, non-profit and all the do's and don'ts. And I registered. What would I have thought of if I had known? By then, I didn't know non-profits there's a lot of pivoting, it changes, it grows, rules and regulations. And maybe I should have researched more. Because when all of the things were coming, at times it was very overwhelming.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then you have to read, and especially when it came to the States was not much. I had a lawyer that did the registration, but when I came to Canada, I did it with my friends. And then, with all the different do's and don'ts and things, I think I would have researched more. But the good thing also, maybe if I had researched more, I might not have jumped into what I did.
I see. That's an interesting perspective. If you knew more, maybe you wouldn't have made that leap, but also you would tell that earlier version of yourself to maybe do a little bit more research.
And also maybe stop worrying about things you don't know and just do best to learn as you go.
Oh, I really like that. I really love the way you phrased that. That's amazing. Next question I have for you, deep down, what made you decide to tackle this really huge, enormous social issue?
Okay, we are all humans here, so everybody have their own different, challenges and everything, right? I believe there are times in your life when growing up or even up to now, you have friends that come up with certain issues that you wonder if, I wish I could help. I don't know if that comes here. I wish I could help.
Right.
And you see some of the situations that your friends or maybe colleagues relate to you, they're actually not big deal. At times you just need a little bit of advice, encouragement, or direction. You know what I mean? So over the years growing up, I yes, definitely working with the traffic people, ladies, special ladies, wonderful ladies, their stories inspired me. We have this judgment, which social judgment at times, but it's not all because of money. Some of them is just because of poverty, lack of skill, no one there, they had to use the survival mode. And after listening to some of the stories, some of them they didn't just have something to do. And they were forced to some con. I'm not justifying the act, but what I'm trying to say, at that moment, I realized if I can empower them, and I saw all the transformation, then we can empower anyone.
Right.
I want to consider the way when you have an alternative lifestyle and they're coming back into the society, the stigma, but I saw them transform. And I realized if then the mommy in the house, who's just a housewife, and doesn't have anything to do and maybe boredom and stuff, I can also empower her. She can have a sewing skill at home to keep herself busy and also use it to the home-based business to generate funds. So this little experience actually inspired me to now, go in for them. Then I realized also some youth that we also do say they're all delinquent. No, they're not delinquent. Some of them, nobody was there to advise them. They didn't have a father figure. They didn't have a mother figure or something. So talking with all my youth all those days, I realized that if I engage in their minds in creativity, like the arts and crafts we do with them, then there will be less time for them to be on drugs, So these are the different reality that I looked in my community growing up, even in Outerwear, that I decided to see how much I can develop, the projects now to reaching more of these vulnerable people.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah, that's really deep in the sense that, you look around you and you see that there's people who are in very vulnerable positions, and obviously resources such as financial resources is great, but there's also those tangible sort of education and vocational information that can help them support themselves and feel empowered to be able to change their own trajectory. So that's amazing. I want to shift gears back a little bit more to the operations end of things. And I'm curious to know, what are some of the objectives or goals that your organization aims to achieve?
First of all, develop more skills in people. That's the first thing. So that's the reason why, the pandemic also really taught me a good lesson. So when we had a pandemic, that was actually when I decided to do the vocational training, because we had it in Sierra Leone, we had it in Cote d'Ivoire, and in the States was more of sending things to Africa. But then here I was like, it taught me a lesson, because when we had the center in 2018, before that we were working from community centers, from home, coffee shops, wherever we get, So when we had the opportunity to get this place and we started producing stuff, because we decided we can't just use the whole place for like office, let's do a boutique. So definitely you've been seeing some of my posts, we were doing things that people need. And then the pandemic hit. So we jumped into printing masks and sewing masks and stuff like that. But then we had a couple of clients and friends who lost their jobs. So they came over and said, oh, I don't have a job. Then I suggested, you can be like an associate, take some masks, and see what you can do with this and bring back the money. And it worked so well for them. They were even coming 100 masks, 200 masks. I was like, okay, this business seemed to be working. So then I realized that at that time, if I can develop this lady's skills, not just pick up the mask for me, if she had a machine at home, she had a craft, you know what I mean? Then she can do these things without me and make her own money instead of giving her commission. So that's why I said developing the skills in people. At times it doesn't even need to sew. You can save money by just making your own things at home. I did 5 of this yesterday. I'm not a seamstress, but when it push come to shove, having my seamstress at times was difficult. I had to go and learn how to sew, and I keep developing myself. So as women, as men, you can just develop. So I want people to have, this year we want to reach out to 80 women at least. So that was the reason why we did even ask for a grant. The second thing also, we want to build in confidence in women that you can do it. That's what we have in the forums in different areas, whether it's finance, whether it's, your outlook, your look matters and stuff. But we want to empower women with their self-esteem. After all this that have happened, you will not know, but a lot of people have lost their self-esteem, lost their job, it affected their self-esteem. Things changed, their business fell, it affected their self-esteem. And the final thing also is to grow the organization, wherein we've been established in different areas in Ottawa here, or even in the whole of, Canada, who knows? So my goal is more to get more people to reach out to more. Business organization is not about us. It's about the lives that you touch. That makes the difference, and that brings a lot of joy into your heart at the end of the day.
That's a wonderful way to do business. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And so I would love to hear if you could share with us, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced as a nonprofit leader?
One was one of the challenges I had before, okay, this is some things I don't see actually out there. But most people thought NewLife was established by a grant. No, no. I don't know if you know this thing, that if you need to start something, at times you have to start with you, whether it's a change, whether it's supporting a business. So actually in NewLife, I did one of my biggest sacrifice was to invest my savings into NewLife, especially the center here. When we had the center, I didn't have a grant. So I had to squeeze my eyes into my personal savings and establish the business. And you know what? It is to take a place in outdoor, everything. And imagine for a whole year, I had to support the project by myself. There was no more donations coming in, but I was very creative. As a leader, you also have to pivot. You have to know how to make money. So if you see me disturbing you online with all my stuff, no, it's just because I have to keep the social enterprise in fueling this project. So that was a challenge, getting the finance. That I didn't want to kill myself running around for all those grants, because by then I was too busy trying to establish, because I believe also when the government see what I've established, it's easy for them to jump in. That's what happened. I only had the first grant or assistance I had was in 2017, just for the forums. They see that I was really empowering women in forums. And I think I had $2,000 just to support the 5 months project. But then it was our money and our creativity with my team. But then in by 2021, when the SBCC grant came in and I applied, it was just to get the machines that we're using now. It was easy for me to get that too. So that was a challenge, financial one. The second thing also is just managing people at times, people who don't know the origin, they don't know, they just see this place and they just think, but just wisdom, trying to make sure you meet everybody at their level, and not be judgmental and keep, being you. It can be difficult when you meet with people who really don't want to understand, but that is also another journey that helps you to grow as a leader, because everybody can be the same. So I think those are my 2 ones. And then there was a time I think I was sick and I still had to continue to work, and it was really terrible, but it was also good because it trained me to be to persevere. Yeah.
Right. That perseverance is key. I think a lot of people think about startups and they think of like tech startups, but when you're starting a small business and when you're starting a social enterprise, it does take that perseverance, that pivoting that you were talking about earlier, that creativity, where you're jumping on different solutions to be able to tackle these big problems that you set out to address. And so, yeah, I think you definitely have a part of the conversation when it comes to what it takes to grow an organization, a nonprofit organization, to have a broader reach. It takes quite a bit. And you kind of touched on it a little bit around your own sort of development. So if you could share with us, how do you continue to grow and develop as an entrepreneur, as a social entrepreneur?
First of all, you never say I've arrived. So there's always room for growth. There's always room to, I don't care how best I can do some of these things, which I learned, by the way, but there's always room for growth. So one of my secrets is I learned from great leaders. If you compare yourself with yourself, it's not working. You have to go above. So I listen to a lot of great entrepreneurs, like Lisa Nichols. It's one of my, I don't know if you guys know her. Lisa is very motivating for me, and I listen to her a lot. And Oprah, I mean, even when I did my entrepreneurship program in Gatineau, she was one of my figure, my whatever program we're doing by then, because I had a 4 months training to become an entrepreneur. So I make sure I use those ones as kind of a yardstick, to see how far I'm going, what I'm doing wrong and stuff like that. The second thing also, I also listen to a lot, or I read a little bit, on different things that are being done now, how they're being done, and I learn from others. Nobody's too big, too small to learn from others. So even if it's an organization that you think is not developed, there's something they're doing that you are not doing. Right. There's something they're doing that they're doing better than you. So instead of maybe trying to bring them down, learn from them. I don't care how you think your organization has grown, and networking.
Did I hear networking?
I cannot emphasize even less or more, but you have to network. So I remember Phoenix Business Exchange, the Black professional women and business also. This was when I started. I made sure I go attend some of those networking programs. I listen, I ask questions, I observe. Right. As you're doing it as a leader, you're also growing, and you'll be able to use those experiences to grow whatever you do. And allow yourself to be challenged. Like, oh, I messed up. Okay, I'll do it again, So you have to constantly be checking in, putting all the tags, and, I'm saying if I can go above it. Then at the same time also, the other thing is to learn to celebrate yourself, and your achievements, so you'll be able to give room for expansion. So New Life also, I will sit and see how far we've come. What are the things we've not done? And my team, I have board of directors who are always hiding behind me. So we will sit and I'll make sure, we put them on the table. At times I just try to see what we've done, what we can do better, look at some things. For example, like the media, you guys will notice now my pictures are better because after speaking with photographers, what am I doing wrong about my pictures? They say, oh, go buy this backdrop. I was like, it's expensive. And I had to squeeze my eyes and buy it. Why? Because development means spending. If you don't want to use the funds to develop, you won't be able to. So basically, these are the things I do. And I'm also looking 5 years ahead, long-term plans, long-term goals, very important. If you don't have anything that you're striving towards, you are retrogressing. So it's always good to have something that this is what I want to see in your life, get to in 5 years, in 4 years, and then you're working or, you're working on that to see how best you can achieve it. So these basic things, they might just look simple, but they're very important in developing. So I've been using those as to develop the project and listening to people, feedback. Whatever you are doing, always ask people, how was it? What do you think? Even maybe after this, I can ask, Tanisha, how was the program? Just have feedback. At times, it's not the best feedback you can always have, because criticisms, they can be positive also, even though it's criticism, but it's a good one. Not all of us want the truth, but it's only the truth that will develop your skills, your talents, and also give you a foresight on where you're going next.
Amazing. You just left us with so many gems across the board. I loved how you're pushing networking, getting feedback from people, persevering, trying again, and planning long-term. All of those are really great strategies to be able to shift your business to new heights. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I invite everyone in the audience to propose a question to ask a question of Brenda, something you might be curious about, whether it's about entrepreneurship, leading a nonprofit, maybe something she does, maybe some of the programs that she offers. So my last question to you before we go into Q&A is, what's one piece of practical advice that you would give someone, maybe a newcomer entrepreneur who's starting out?
Remember I told you guys about the vision that I had, which created a passion? If you want to start a business, you want to start an organization, and you don't have that passion, that thing that will make sure, even during the pandemic, you find a way to survive. That thing that will cause you to wake up in the morning, even when you don't feel like it, and go and do your work. If you don't have that passion, hold it. Just wait a minute. Just make sure you sit, think twice about it before taking the next step. The reason being that, all these big proposals, business plans, and the startup of everything, it's amazing. It's a startup, right? So you have the zeal and everything. But there will come a time when there will be no zeal. There will come a time when all the people that clapped, oh, new business, they will be gone. At least 3/4 of them will be gone. And if you don't have anything the reason, for example, as I told you, seeing lives transform for me, seeing these ladies transform, seeing people change, it's like a passion that makes me want to continue. So if you don't have that thing that will make you wake up in the morning and go do it, I think you should hold it up. Because you can have the capital, you know what I mean? That one, they all will come. Everything falls into place, no matter what. But it's the continuity of the project, of your business, that is important. So I will say to you, why are you doing it? Is the reason that you have for doing it more than you? Okay. Is it more than you? Because if it's more than you, then it's also a good thing, because then you can do it by yourself. As a Christian, I just depend on God at times to direct me, because I'm like, this is kind of big for me. But the other thing also, now that you've got the reason why you want to do it and you're passionate, you have to be focused. It's a journey. There are a lot of stones that are going to be thrown at you. There are a lot of people that are not just going to say bravo. There are some people who are going to even try to bring down that vision. But when you focus, you know where you're going. It's like all these things that have been thrown at you just fall by the side. And that has helped me a lot because I'm so focused at times I don't even know that somebody is doing something on the side. Or some of my colleagues, did you see what she did? I'm like, oh, really? I didn't even, I'm like, gone. So what I'm trying to say, be focused on what you are, because you have a goal, really remember. And because you have a goal, it's only you at the end of the day that's going to give account of that vision. It's not the naysayer. It's not the person who thinks your idea is foolish. You know, it's all about you. So, and then work smart, not hard. So as you're going along as a business, maybe the startup is good now you're in business development and stuff, see ways you can, like now the pandemic world had to pivot, right? We have to find a way, tweak here and tweak there and stuff like, see how you can work smart. So less energy, more wisdom, direction. If needed, bring in other people that will support you. Because at the end of the day, as a business person, it's success that we are looking for and the lives that you transform. It's not about just you. The big picture is about people, people. Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing in that perspective. If your forums are even a little bit like this, I'll only imagine how powerful it is for the people who attend. We have a question in the chat. I open it up to anybody who has, who feels brave to unmute themselves and ask a question. Samaya, did you want to lead the Q&A portion? If not, I can go ahead.
Yes, I can go ahead.
Awesome. Floor is yours.
So the first question, how long did it take you to structure the nonprofit? And because I understand it's even more complicated than starting a corporation. And do you have a board of directors? How did you manage all of that?
Yeah, so as I said, officially become a nonprofit in 2009. Okay, so that was in Cote d'Ivoire. We had the first official, well, non-profit, because it was a non-profit organization. Back in Sierra, it's just as like a women, gender, kind of an NGO, but not NGO. Okay, so since 2009, we established in Cote d'Ivoire. That's when the journey started. The journey started in the sense that it took that long up to now. And registered also we registered it also the same year after in the States under the 501c3. Okay, and in 2014 in Canada. So 2009 to now has been the official registration, but in Canada it's been 2014. And each of them, with the requirements of having a nonprofit, you have to have board of directors. So these are all the things I told you I had to learn, you know what I mean, trying to choose the right people. So 2000, even in Cote d'Ivoire, you have to have board of directors. So all of them, I still have some of my board members, still my board member up to now. And we've worked together. Some have come, some have gone, but it took me that long. And secondly, also in terms of structure, I had in mind what I wanted to do with the nonprofit. But there are times, depending on the country, depending on the people I'm working with, I have to do some little changes here. But the original vision never changed. So even when I registered in Cote d'Ivoire and when I registered here, it's the same. I wanted to do international relief because we send things every year, even during the pandemic, I still send things to Sierra Leone or maybe Ghana or maybe in Cote d'Ivoire. So people always donate gently used clothing. I do backpack drive and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, sorry.
No problem.
So at the end of the day, I do the drive. So it was always under my constitution. So that's why that's one of the reasons why you have to have a plan. So that didn't change. The international relations is still there up to now in in Canada. The French tutoring is still there to empower women to have a second language. I still tutor kids and adults. And then the women forum is still there, you know, and the new life design. So those things, the only changes might be there is maybe now reaching out to different groups and stuff like that. But you have to have that structure, and you can tweak here and there. You can make changes here. And even there were time we had to make an amendment in the constitution with the government of Canada. So the structure, it depends on the people you're serving. It depends on the country, okay? But don't let anything mess with your vision, you know, because that's where you can always have that confidence of where you're going. You know, some people have one vision today, tomorrow they want to do something else. That's when it becomes messy and people are confused out there. Okay, if you know me, you always know me for New Life. I always worked in the back. Now 3 years ago, I split. So now 3 years ago, now put New Life before I decided to work full-time for New Life. But I always had my job. But even in my job, people knew me for New Life. You know, so it's an identity you can, but when today your structure is you're selling beans, tomorrow you're selling chicken, next tomorrow, you know, it's kind of people know where they are.
Yeah, I get your point. This is very important to have very clear vision. And I think all the entrepreneurs need to work on that. We have another question from Grace. She's saying to ask about obtaining clients. Grace, would you want to ask?
Yes, I'll elaborate on my question. Okay, so first of all, I want to say your outfit is beautiful. Obviously, you created that, and you're a beautiful model, by the way, too. Better than mannequin. So that's one of your creations from your sewing class, I'm assuming. Yes, okay. So you obviously service different type of clients, but maintaining your vision, like you said. So what I'm wondering is, because you are involved in several different aspects of your business, everything from dealing with victimized women to teaching French to teaching sewing classes. I'm just wondering, how do you obtain your clients? Like, how is it through word of mouth? Do you do advertising, marketing, or because it is sort of a whole gamut of different initiatives that fall under your business?
So we do have definitely we have 4 divisions in New Life, which we stuck to. So with the 4 divisions, when we talk about clientele, most of them, they merge. You know what I mean?
Okay,
kind of merge. So we're not actually going out to look for more clients. Most of them, in fact, we have within the same niche. You know what I mean? So because they're women and youth, we can always go around. But one of the way I do in terms of advertisement, I use a lot of media. Okay, but I also just don't use the media anyhow. I have to have a target. You know, I can't be going to try to force myself into people that don't need my service. That's a waste of my time. So I look for my niche. Okay, where can I find the women? That's why you not see me advertising some. Maybe in the time, oh, you can go there. And I'm like, no, because I make sure I scan and see, are there the people that will need my service? So I don't waste time, because your time as an entrepreneur is very important. So I use the media, but I also use target marketing. I do guerrilla marketing. So for me, guerrilla marketing is going to somebody, meeting people, calling them on the phone, talking to them, explaining about what you do. And word of mouth is the best, you know, reference. So a lot of people also, I always say, if you're good at something, people will refer you, trust me.
Yes.
Just try to be, that's why I always insist that just develop it. As you're getting better, you're getting good. Somebody will make something and they like it, and then somebody will call me and say, somebody, you did this for somebody. So that's another thing also, word of mouth, but also make sure your presentations are good. Don't have to be perfect, just make sure they're good, so that even when the person you're presenting, is proud of you. And the other thing also that I use is should I say, establishing good relationship with people. Don't take your clients for granted. Trust me. Your clients, they can make you grow, they can make you fall. Just one thing that you might do that is not appropriate can make the whole of Arawa not put their foot into your shop. So relationships. I try to establish not just the buying and selling and the tutoring, but I try to establish a relationship that is just cordial for you to be able to refer me or maybe come back as a repeat customer. So now we do a lot of tutoring online. And most of some of the clients are just referrals, we tutor the kids and talked about them in the office. Now we have clients that have been with us as they work in government services for like 2 years because they want to get promotion and stuff like that. And all these are referrals. So word of mouth, guerrilla marketing, the media, knowing where you have, and then making sure you treat people respectfully.
Yes.
When those clients are satisfied, they will come back and they will bring their friends and all the population. Definitely.
So are your clientele primarily from Ottawa, or could they be from other parts of Ontario or Canada?
You know the good thing. I have a vision. I have a big picture when I think about vision. I don't limit myself. Small, we have to stop being small-minded. When some people are fighting about clientele, they're thinking of just Ottawa. Ottawa is just a small place compared to the world. So I do have clients from the States because as I said, some of them are friends. I even forgot to say something. Some of your friends can be your best clients. Your friends can be your best clients. And I have friends that have traveled or they're never somebody saw my work online and they loved it and they ordered from the States, from London. I mean, especially when I do this blouse, from Miami, Calgary, I don't know some people, but like even yesterday, I had order for about 5 blouses. Somebody working in the government saw it somewhere, and you just keep having the clientele because you're doing what you're doing. So don't limit yourself to Ottawa. Use Etsy, use Pinterest. Facebook. Also go to groups that are not our base. Present yourself, put your project, your products there. Just try to go above and beyond, because something at times, in fact, it's not just your community people that will even come at times. It's people that are far away that will see your product, and because it's that good, they will come. Yeah. So I do ship a lot.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Marianne has a question. Marianne, would you like to go forward?
Yes, thank you so much, Samaya. And thank you, One Hub, for this wonderful program. You always put up something very exciting. And Brenda, thank you for all you've said. So they are all wonderful insights. Thank you so much. My question is around the French, teaching French tutoring for children. Do you tailor your teaching towards the educational curriculum, what they have in the school system?
Yeah, so we have, during the summer, we have a lot of students that do online because the parents want them to catch up. I do tell us. So I'm not working alone. I'm working with a team. So when I get busy, I even give all my own set of clients to my colleagues. So I do have somebody who had actually a degree in education who works with me and also is French and also works in translation. So he's working with me. So he basically handles all the use. So as small as client is 6 years. Okay. And because so we do go with it. And then in terms of the teens, I think the oldest is 17 or 18. Okay. So we definitely work with the curriculum. Just because we believe that there's no need to get their parents to pay all that money if they have not to, we can work with the curriculum. And in terms of the government, people in the government, maybe people that are actually working just because they want to have a second language or have opportunity in the government, we also do work with whatever the government requirements are for. So yeah, it's still not according to we make sure. So I told my colleagues that people have to have their money's worth.
Okay, thank you so much. So how do we go further to know what it all entails? Is it on the website or? It's
on the website. So now we're still working on the website. We had to do, as I said, it's always changing. So on the website, you go to classes, you go to French, you see the form there. Then you can register. Now we don't have, because of this coronavirus, we don't have too many, a lot of people coming in before. If not, like during the summer, I have kids that have come every day, Monday to Friday for 1 month or 2 months. So you can register online, and now we're doing more online classes. And we also try to work with a schedule for adults.
Okay. Okay.
So because we know we have late classes, like up to 6, depends on whatever, because we know most people are after, I used to even have classes for lunchtime, like times like this, I used to have classes soon. But right now I'm trying to prepare my summer still, so my colleagues are going to teach. It's
That's
money
great.
time.
Okay, thank you so much. I think
You're welcome.
you've answered my question. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Do we have any more questions?
I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, thank you so much for what you have. It's very inspiring what you have been telling us about.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask about funding. Normally, it's at the start, it's much more difficult to secure funding, and then going forward as well. So if you could elaborate a little bit, how did you secure funding at the start, and going forward, how do you fund your programs?
So as I said earlier, I started my funding by myself. When I was working, I always had a portion to use to help the girls in Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. And as Mario Marlene, I was also pound on him to assist my friends and stuff like that. But moving forward, I became creative. So my funding actually was being generated from the things I do, from the sewing to the French tutoring. So we use all that it was supposed to be my business, but I had to use it to support the organization as a social enterprise. And donations, I could say a few. But then during the pandemic, somebody blessed us so much. I was so happy because we were even thinking how we pay the next rent. And somebody called and said, I have $1,000 for each of you. I'm like, wow, So donations, you can't count on it because everybody have their needs and at times. And because we are still a non-profit, even at now we're working towards charity, you know how it is. You need your tax receipts and stuff like that. So you can just count on that. But then the whole of 2018, when we got this place, actually, I didn't have a funding. So I actually, as I said, used my personal fund because we had just sold the house and I used certain portion to, invest into the organization. But in 2021 was when I decided to be brave, and just really ask for. Then I got the SPCCI funding. That was just to get the machines, because I believe if I have more machines and train more people, get me, I make more stuff and sell. And then I wanted to do it for free for the training, but it was just not possible. And some people don't take work serious, then you give them when it's for free. So I'm charging a minimal. And then the whole of from September to now, we have had so many mom and daughter classes. So the mom and daughter classes, where parents will come with their kids, the teenagers, and just bond and learn something new, that intergenerational connection. So those ones have actually funded us a lot. And exhibitions. So I do a lot of exhibitions. I have an exhibition on Sunday coming at the Tudor Hall. I'll be part of the Black Business Expo. I have a booth. I make sure I go to exhibitions, and those exhibitions I'm able to sell more, and connect more and have more clients for classes. So these are the things I've been using to support the project. So I'll try not to focus too much on what people give you, but what you can also do to turn over. And then I think I was smart enough to go into printing of masks. So I connected with printing presses during the pandemic, and that helped us a lot. So I will look for my orders, take them to the printing press, and have my cut. So I actually didn't do anything. I just make sure I give them the orders and I have my cut. So that was another way that supported the project a lot during the pandemic, especially 2020. Everybody was making masks, everybody wanted to brand, their names on masks. So that one helped me a lot. So it's just about being, proactive, looking for ways. But now, definitely, I want to look for more funding. So if you hear of one, guys, just tell me.
No, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because funding such programs are usually difficult, but you have approached it in a creative way. You are using multiple strategies, and it seems to be working. So congratulations.
Yeah, we did apply for some more. We're just hoping that they'll be approved.
I actually recently heard about this funding. It's for Black Francophone entrepreneurs. So it sounds like you fit into that each one of those categories. I'll have to go back to where my notes are, where I can find that. And I'll definitely send it to Tatanisha and she can refer it to you. But yeah,
Thank you so
I
much.
did hear about that very recently, so I'll search for that.
Thank you.
Usually these opportunities are in terms of loans. So if you are interested, yeah.
Wonderful. We're closing up. So I just want to again thank everyone for attending today. We love having these conversations with inspiring entrepreneurs in our community, talk about what they're doing and really help you grasp, what it is to own and operate a business in Ottawa in any format. So thank you again for showing up. Brenda, it's always lovely to chat with you. You look amazing, as Grace said. And I'm really looking forward to the upcoming expo that's coming out. I'm wondering if you can share that with us one last time.
Okay, so it's going to be at the Tudor Hall and on Sunday from 11 to 5 p.m. So it's about 60 entrepreneurs that are coming together. The registration of .org. Sorry, I just typed something. Let me see if I can. It's on my. If you go to my website or you go to my Facebook page is newlifeproject.org or Instagram. It's also there. So you just need to register. I think it's $15 to enter, but it's gonna be lots of fun.
Wow,
so please come
that's
support
exciting.
me.
Yes, of course. No, it's really exciting. This Sunday, check out the Black Expo at Tudor Hall. You'll find it on www.newlifeprojectinc.org. As you can see on the screen here, go ahead and take a screenshot or take a photo if you'd like, so you can save it. I'm just going to hand the mic over to Grace for some final remarks. Take us away, Grace.
Okay, so I want to thank Brenda very much for her very inspiring story today. We all learned a lot, and you provide some great tips to people that are starting their business. And obviously, it's very a great learning experience because you've gone through it, so you're trying to help people not make the same mistakes potentially that you might have, or save some time and energy because of your experiences. So we really appreciate hearing about that story. So thank you very much, Brenda. We loved hearing what you had to say today. And I hope that we may be able to see some of the people that were online today become part of our One Hub program. So I want to wish everybody a wonderful afternoon, and don't get caught in the rain. That's going to happen later on.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
then.
Have a nice day. Bye. Bye.
Yes.